I don't have a problem, I have an axe. Let's go. Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to some more Lumberjacked. Let's go eat some trees or something. What was I up to? What was my plan? I have no idea. I mostly just, did this as a one-off, and then y'all seem to really like the video, so, who am I to not follow up with a second video? I love the fact that I can get to the, well, I've gotten to the point where I can one-shot these trees, so, yeah, let's just take this easy. I guess I should probably be tossing. I can hold 70 freaking logs in one go. Awesome. Yeah, the only immediate problem is the pickup radius is still pretty thin, which means we really need to find those drones. Because if we can do that, then hopefully maybe I don't need to worry about logs at all. Maybe. Games like this always feel like they need some level of automation. I think this is kind of a consistent thing with all incremental games, the idea of... what was I going to say? The idea of, maybe not automation per se, but scalability. So many of these games go up in a purely vertical manner. You know, your stats go up. But that's it. That's all they do. They don't get more interesting, it doesn't expand. Hence why I was talking about, like, you know, crazy builds and weird roguelike power-ups, because that's an easy way to add some level of width. Because I want most incremental games, they're like progression curves to actually look kind of pyramidal, but like upside down. So you start basic and then you have like 2 options, then you get 4 options or something like that. But like it doesn't have to be too much. You just need just enough width that like there's some level of build craft and decision making, but then also comboed with that allows you to soften the blow of like certain design choices. So in this case, you know, oh, what's a good example? I mean, so many of these trees take 1 stamina to chop. But, you know, if it's one of those where it's like, hey, any excess stamina is dealt as damage to nearby trees, all of a sudden, you know, it makes like a strong strength build make way more sense. It takes me like an hour to walk up. This guy is painfully slow, or he's just cursed, is the real answer. Alright, so what can I do? I only have 4,000, which does actually, no, gives me some options. Was stuff this cheap previously? No idea. I think I'm gonna go for a throw distance just because. And rest until morning. Go from here. Let's see. It was kind of just aimless. Oof. The atmospheric fog on this is dense. Okay. Is this where I wanted to go? I don't know. It's a direction. I guess what I should do is somewhat go in a straight line. Let's see if I can investigate and find things. Because we're looking for anything that could be unique. We got another ferry here. No drone, though. Finally, I'm free. I can't tell you how long I've been stuck in that orb. Those gnomes enslaved all my friends, but I still see their lights. Okay, so I'm within range here. So I can kind of keep tossing at this distance. Yeah, so the lights must be the beacons. I'm curious about these elder trees and how there's 1,000 of them somewhere. Feels like it's something I would have spotted at least one of them by now, but maybe they're in a specific grove altogether, and that's why I haven't noticed it. Fortunately, these are not nearly as profitable as the other set of trees in the vicinity. Okay. There we go. I'm just gonna delete all of these. We got hours before, well, in-game hours before dusk. But I might as well just clear everything out. Might as well also get those mushrooms. Because yeah, we're pretty close to getting that lantern, which gives me some amount of stuff I can do. Mostly it means I don't have to worry about the nighttime anymore. So that means I can start investing pretty hard into stamina. But I think I already have been. And because of the scaling price of everything, there's no, like, reason to invest in one specific stat over the others. I think throw distance is probably going to be my primary focus, just because it's so pivotal. Because I do not want to have to go back. You know, close to... I was going to call it town, but it's not really town. I just want to have to get close to home just to be able to chuck my logs. That sounds like a pain. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. Time to go rest. Yeah, we got enough. I'm probably just going to invest in my walk speed. Should probably also take a look at the gnome's map before we go too far. Because, who knows, it might have some secrets. Oh. This is different. It changed? Huh. I wonder if the dev switched some things around. So orange circles are... Yeah, I have no idea. Like, there's a little symbol. I'm assuming one means fairies, one means drone parts. I would have assumed drone parts, but I've already gone down this direction. Would have expected I'd find it by this point. I also haven't, like, tried following the pipe. Oh, but it doesn't take me anywhere. Alright, fair enough. Oh, and I was going to invest into some things. Whatever, it's not a big deal. Okay. This is harder on my stamina, is the one downer. That's okay. Unless the map's orientation isn't exactly one for one, and that this is a different path than the one I think I'm going down. Either way, I'm probably going to investigate these caves again. Just to see if there's anything there. Yeah, that's further than I'd like. That's okay. The money's good, though. And that does matter. Yeah, I wonder if the developers updated anything, or... Oh, gosh. Of all these logs, I'm a messy person. Apparently. Okay, do we just lumberjack our way back? I have no idea. Yeah, I could go back to the, like, darker log trees that I was at earlier. But it seems more practical for me to focus on these, seeing as I can chop these and they're worth so much more. And, like, getting as far as the bridge isn't too bad. I think, unfortunately for me, I'm probably just going to save up and just go for throwing distance more than anything else. Some stamina wouldn't be bad, but we're still running out kind of close to nighttime. So I don't feel possessed of the need for more. Okay, we're at maximum logs. What does this even look like? Oh. It's as goofy as you think it would be. Unfortunately, there's no third-person camera, so you can't get the, like, full glory of this guy and his 70 high log stack to the sky. But, I mean, whatever. Not the end of the world. Oh, guess I can't get those. Oh, because we're full up. Right on. Works for me. I'll admit, just kind of for why I'm doing a second episode of this, if you've watched this channel often enough, you probably know that I usually don't go back for subsequent coverage of games, mostly just due to a lack of time. Just too many other games coming out, and I'm only one man, And so it's always a little tricky to go for like full series coverage or things like that. 6,000, it's not bad. But it's always a delight when a game does exceptionally well, because then it's easy for me to justify like covering it more and putting some more time in. Let's see. Yeah. Oh. Maybe I'm going down this section. Yeah, the problem is, which of these am I crossing the bridge really quick on? I don't know. One way or another, this is the most profitable location. Even if it takes me literal in-game hours to run down this path. I think we'll go for some throwing distance and then go back to damage. Might actually be worth getting the next level of axe. But yeah, I think since this area is the most lucrative, at least that is accessible to me in the moment, let's focus on that. I can go back and work on the dark logs, but that'll be so much easier when I have like crazy throwing range and let's see. Yeah, when I have crazy throwing range and well, I mean, I guess we already have infinite power as far as everything is considered. Okay. There's a lot of these berry bushes here, too, that I could go for, but eh. Okay, let's grab the mushrooms. Oh, the bush is in the way. What? No! I cannot reach it. The hitboxes don't work. But yeah, I don't know. It's nice when a video overperforms to the point where I'm like, yeah, I can go back and play more of this. It's nice when it's a game that I'm like chill with. It's always a little bit of a concern when it's a game that like I really do not want to play more of. This doesn't happen too often, but every once in a while I like have a video break outside of my audience in a way that is like, maybe not harmful, but I remember when Fury came out, F-U-R-I, I did a video on it and I was not vibing. I was having a really hard time with the game and its mechanics, and trying to do live commentary, hard boss rush stuff is just tricky. And I did not want to do a second episode. I think we actually did, to some degree. I remember seeing the ending and then seeing the secret boss, and it kicked my ass. And I said, I'm done. I just don't know if any of that hit YouTube is the answer. I might have recorded it and then said, nah. Because what happened was, because I wasn't vibing with the game, I like dropped the difficulty down. But you can see you can see the shadow of this massive log pile I've got on my shoulder. And I love seeing the just train going off into the distance. But yeah, because I wasn't vibing with the game, but I'd still uploaded the video, I just, for years, was getting people furious at me because I didn't like the game that much, and, you know, how dare I? I like, to some degree, it makes sense. Usually, if I do not enjoy a game, I do not try and force a video anymore. It's not like I was really forcing a video at the time, I was just having a tougher time than most. And so, like, I'm always a little bit scared about that when it comes to coverage, or at least I used to be more scared about it back in the day. Interesting, the darkness... Yeah, somebody had said pushing the tree line back also makes it so you're less likely to get hit by the blackout fog, and I think that's the case. Oh yeah, big ups. We now have enough that I can get 103 range. Next is 150 for 17.5 thousand. That's a little tricky. Still's good. Yeah, I think I'm probably just gonna rip this whole area to shreds. Whatever cool secrets and the drone exist out there, be nice to find those, but my The map doesn't line up that well, so I can't quite tell where I'm supposed to be going. And so easier for me to just, oh, this is the area that just immediately branches right and left. But I think I'm going to focus on currency and upgrades before I focus on exploration. Exploration can come later when I have the ability to easily traverse this area. And, you know, can just huck a log from any distance. I don't think I'm going to save up for these 17,000. I think next up we either get some walking speed, but I think I'm going to go for power more than anything else. Power and stamina. Because yeah, I'm going to use up half of my stamina just going through here. Okay. Grab this, get a little bit more stamina, why not? Somebody asked to work for or with me. I think mostly jokingly because, you know, it'd be nice to just play video games all day. I wish I could just play video games all day. That's the thing. This is one of those things that you probably... kind of like a lot of jobs, you don't see the like back end. So you're like, oh man, being a game developer would be so cool. And then you see the back end for game development, and there's that immediate like, maybe not. At least that's how it's felt for me. I think if I get into game development, it's going to be small hobby projects that I just do on my own. You know, make a goofy visual novel, takes a couple hours to beat, and costs $5. I don't think I'm ever going to like put a lot of time and effort and energy into any of those. I'd rather just spitfire a couple of fun projects instead. Well, we can at least afford walking speed. I think I'll get it. We're just losing so much time going to and from, though we're out of stamina, so losing that time isn't really that big of a deal. Because I think I might be better off going for the max stamina instead, actually. There we go, rest until morning. So, I think damage is going to be the big one, because if I can take these trees out in one hit, that actually saves me an insane amount of stamina, all things considered. I have to do so much, like, dumb fiddly back-end work for YouTube. Like, back in the day, I would just sit down and record the whole damn game and just put it out. You know, every single thumbnail is just, like, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, virtually identical, and that was good enough. But now with, like, how YouTube has changed its algorithms and stuff, I cannot do that anymore. And it's always a little bleak. Like, if you want to see what I'm talking about, I did a video for Forever Skies a couple days ago, and, like, it didn't do stupid well. It did fine, very middle of the road, and I decided to do, like, a stream of the next couple hours, because I legitimately do want to play through the game, and I'll probably continue to do so. But the viewership on that one is currently, like, I think it's like 5,000 views, which is, like, still a lot. Like, this is one of those, like, weird suffering, well, maybe not suffering from success, first world problems, where, like, this job is awesome, I won't deny that. But there's a lot of stuff that, like, could be so much better. And used to be so much better. And so it's one of those where, like, I'm stuck in this, like, odd state where, like, my job was better 5 years ago. Things were easier, I didn't have to worry about as much. And I could just play games, but now I have to be just, like, very calculating of, like, is this game going to overperform, underperform? You know, this stream did super well. Okay, let's schedule another one, but how can I do that? I have errands to do. Oh no, I'm an adult that has to be, like, a functional adult. And streams take hours and, you know, are bad for my back and voice, and I have to, you know, allot enough recovery time between streams so I don't, like, completely wreck myself again, because I've got, like, 4 different potential health problems that could flare up if I spend too many hours in front of the computer just streaming. I don't know how, like, the bigger, older streamers do it. I'm assuming they have, like, probably even more expensive setups than I do, and, like, voice coaches and who knows what else. Let's see. But yeah, for me, it's my wrist, my back, my throat, voice. And as embarrassing as it is to admit, my butt. Imagine sitting, well, I mean, I'm assuming a lot of you probably end up sitting in chairs for hours every day. But at least, like, you get to get up and move around. But one of the big problems with streaming very much is, like, you want to do anything, even so much as take a, you know, a hoodie off, for example. You have to do that kind of around the stream. Either you pause it or you just do it live. If it wasn't obvious, I just took my hoodie off because I was starting to overheat. But, you know, you want to eat dinner, you either have to end the stream to go eat dinner, or you have to, let's see, I think we're good. Yeah, pause the stream, go eat dinner, or end the stream so you can go do that. So if you were planning on like a 10-hour stream, you either have to like really pre-game that stream with a whole bunch of food, which isn't great, or you have to like take an awkward break in the middle, or just, you know, not do the 10-hour stream or something like that. And these are all things that are like so easy to do when you're young. But like very much once you hit 30 and older, it starts getting to the point where it's like, no, I actually need to treat myself a little tenderly, otherwise I can mess myself up big long term. Like, do I want the walking speed? Unlike everything else, walking speed gets progressively more expensive, but is a flat gain. I think I'd rather pass. I think I'm gonna go for swing power. We're pretty close to it, and I think it'll make a difference. Let's see. I don't know. It's one of those where, like, I still think YouTubing and streaming is probably worth trying for a lot of people, but it has to be kind of done with the expectation that nothing is going to come of it. I can't tell you how many YouTubers and streamers... Well, I mean, I kind of can, actually. So I used to be on a... I used to be a moderator for the Let's Play subreddit, if any of you have ever been to that place or have heard of it. It's not exactly the best resource, especially nowadays. But, and even back in the day, it was kind of rough. You know, you could get some useful stuff, but it was mostly commiseration and news. But, I spent a lot of time there, and one of the things that we did, that I will admit I've stopped doing just because I forget, but they would do time capsules. So, like, every couple of months, people would state kind of what they're up to, what their channel's like, and... Ooh. New tree type. I'm pretty sure I cannot chop it. I can. It's actually not that much harder, surprisingly. I think I'm still going to maybe ignore it, if only because... time. No, let's make a trip back to the point where I can throw this. It's not too far. There we go. But so as part of these time capsules, you could kind of see how many people, well, everybody would leave a link to their channel, how big it is, how many subscribers they had, and stuff like that. And so you could actually go back and check and see like, oh yeah, is this person still active? And so one year I decided to go through every single one of them and like take note of, are they still active? When was their last upload? How many subs have they gotten and whatnot? And it was one of those where I think 90% of people quit within 6 months. Which actually makes sense. Hobbies, like... There's a lot of hobbies out there that look glamorous or fun or really cool and stuff like that, and as soon as you start doing them, you actually realize, oh, this actually kind of sucks. There's hard parts about this that are not as pleasant. So, I guess... not an easy example, but... I'm starting to get into Warhammer Age of Sigmar a little bit, and I've bought a couple of sets at this point. It was a we found the Skaven Tide like starter set for 30% off, and it was like, well, you know, we've never played Warhammer, sure, why not? Let's give this a shot. And then we picked up a couple others just so we could have, you know, some of the sets we actually want as opposed to just the thing that was on sale. And then we just randomly found a bunch of, like, the spin-off board games for 20 bucks. And so it's like, sure, now we have a ton of Stormcast, so I guess I'm a Stormcast guy. But the prep for getting to the point, and, like, maybe we're over-planning this, but the prep has been a little bit slower than expected, because it's one of those where, well, you have to get the sets, but then you also have to get a nipper so you can cut them out of the little plastic thing. And then you also maybe have to get a blade so you can get rid of any kind of residual... framework plastic. Let's do swing power. Let's see. And then then we also grabbed like a little holder thing so you can hold your minis while you're assembling and painting them because I have big hands. I don't have big hands comparatively, but like, you know, I'm a big enough guy. You know, tiny little minifigs are actually kind of hard to manipulate with, you know, past a certain size. I think Shell will have no problem. She's got tiny little dainty hands. But I do not, and so having a little holder thing to hold them together while I assemble and paint them would be nice. But speaking of painting, we're like looking into painting, and it's like, oh yeah, you have to prime them, and then, you know, here's the different colors, but if you're familiar with the different, like Warhammer paint setups, it's like, well, you could airbrush them, but that's a whole expensive setup of its own, or you could paint them, but there's like two different types of paint. There's one where you do like a base layer and then like a shading layer and then a detail layer. And it's like 3 or 4 steps. Or you could just go for like the contrast and then the something other layer. I forget what the diagram had. And, you know, it's not that bad, but it's one of those where like I could see somebody picking up a Warhammer set being like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And then realizing the like buy-in to actually be serious about it is so much higher. And so much more work than they might want to put in. And like for us, we can kind of stop at any stage of this and just play the game. It's not like, you know, Shell's going to be like, I refuse to face your army until you've painted them in, you know, exacting detail. I mean, she could do that, but then I would just go play video games. Or she would paint them for me, which I fully expect her to do, at least for some of my sets. Just out of sheer exuberance. But so kind of within, like, yeah, both Shell and I are painters, so like it is one of those where like it is part of our skill set. It's not like it's her forte, not mine. Though I do have to worry about it. I've got a little bit, like my hands have always been a little shaky when it comes to fine details. So I could actually see that being a little bit of a tricky proposition. With, you know, some of these things, but whatever. I didn't check if I'm chopping these trees with 2 or 3 chops at this point. I'll have to pay attention as soon as I get them a little further in. Here, I'm gonna run up, grab this bush. Snag it, and we'll just see. But so for like YouTubing and streaming, over the years I definitely got a lot of people asking like, hey, should I be a YouTuber and streamer? Nah, it's still 3. You know, teach me how to do it, or is this worth it, or something like that. And the answer I will always give is it is 100% worth it because you can learn an insane amount of different skills from like trying YouTube. And I would say especially YouTube over Twitch. I think Twitch is not nearly as good of a platform because you don't learn nearly as much. If you want to make a YouTube video, first thing you got to learn is just like, well, presumably you have to learn just the basic technical setup of putting together a streaming setup. It's pretty easy. Back in the day it was a lot harder. You had to do some like really funky stuff, getting your audio split and the right programs and the right quality and whatnot. But now it's just have OBS, download that, get that set up, which takes almost no time, and then you're good to go for both recording and streaming. But even like within that, if you want to have good audio quality, if you want to have like good bit rates, frame rates, stuff like that, that all takes extra time and focus. That, not to say that no other hobby takes, because so many hobbies take actual time and focus, but it's still one of those where you have to put the time in and the effort into getting set up in a good way. And then you have to record the video. And that alone is tricky. You know, it took me, I would say, a full 6 months to a year before my commentary was good enough to really be watchable. I think the duo commentary between Shell and myself wasn't too bad, just because, I mean, I hope we have natural chemistry. We got married. But, you know, from a solo perspective, it's really difficult to actually carry on a long ramble without getting too distracted or being not entertaining. I very much, as I said in the last video, I'm kind of in permanent vacation mode and have been for a while. And I don't hate that. You know, it's kind of nice to just be able to take it somewhat easy. Also because I'm in an apartment, I don't want to be like loud or overly boisterous. And also notice I do tend to run my mouth more when I'm trying to be overly boisterous, and I can see that annoying certain people. I've had some friendships end because my boisterous nature has limited filters, and that can be problematic. I think I would also probably levy some of those issues towards said friends, because I don't know. Anyway, grab a bush. Let's see. Had a friend in middle school who I think had gotten tired of me, but he was like, I want us to be school friends, not home friends. Which meant not friends at all, because we didn't actually share any classes. I just thought it was cool, and we shared an interest in video games, but I guess I was too much for him. And like, maybe some of this is just like any number of things. Who knows? Luckily, as awkward as that was, I was moving within like a month of that conversation, so it was easy to just cut that friendship off then and there. Sad as it was, like, he was a neat kid. He was also like one of the only people I knew that had an Xbox, and so it was really cool going over to his place and seeing like the Xbox games that, well, just Xbox games in general. So like, he was getting into KOTOR, and I was like, yeah, I love KOTOR. And like, that was a connection point, but I guess it wasn't enough. I have no idea. And then he had some like really cool third-person shooter mech game where everybody had like animal-themed ships in their mechs that would like trash talk you and each other. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I've always wanted to go back and like find a copy of it. I think it was on other platforms, because I know the like sequel / follow-up was on the PlayStation 2. But I remember trying to emulate it when I was older in college, and I forget the details, but I think you had to sit through like hours of tutorial to actually get to anything. And no thank you. Maybe there's a way to skip it. I don't know. I didn't give it that much time or effort. I just got partway through it and said, this is not fun anymore. I do not want this. I think rather than getting the next swing power upgrade, let's go for the next axe upgrade, because that usually multiplies my damage further, whereas the swing power is just a flat amount. I could be wrong. But it seems like it's probably most practical. What was I going to say? Right, commentary and some other things. So, like, some people are better suited for commentary than others. Not to say that, like, Markiplier was a born wonder, but the guy had a very natural speaking voice that worked extremely well for carrying his channel. And the guy's charismatic. But I bring him up largely because he was actually on the Let's Play subreddit. Some of his last posts were like just as I was getting started there, and I was like, oh, cool. And I looked him up one day and he was famous, and I was like, ah, shit. You know, he just seemed like a normal guy, and now he's big. And like, I don't know, it was kind of neat seeing him start from such humble origins. I think he specifically was like learning a lot from Northern Lion at the time. I have no idea if they've ever made further connection beyond that, but it was one of those like weird details that I know because I was there at the time. And I always kind of think back about like getting started there, because yeah, for every Markiplier, for every me that started on that forum, yeah, I'd say 90% of them quit within 6 months. Less than 1% survived like 2-3 years. And it was really the, like, I'm gonna say the hard-headed folks that kind of stuck with it. But in the meantime, like, you still learn a lot of stuff. You know, the commentary, which I'm kind of dancing around this topic because it's easy to ramble. But like consistent commentary. And then once you've even recorded the video, you have to know how to edit videos and stuff. All of these are extremely transferable skills to like a wide variety of jobs or other hobbies and stuff. And so like, I don't know, it feels like doing YouTube has made me a generally richer person than working a day job did. Then again, my day jobs were especially boring. When I was in college, I got recruited by a bio lab that was studying monkey brains for, I think it was ADHD, and they would put like markers in the monkey brains, which a little dark maybe, and then euthanize them later and study kind of where those markers went in regards to like their behavior patterns and stuff, which and yes, I recognize that this is super dark and kind of weird to bring up, but my job within all of this was to take all of the layers that had been like traced by one of my coworkers, because they would trace over the image to create kind of a vector map that I would then stitch together into a 3D model, make it look nice, and then turn it into, you know, video displays, video showcases for, you know, conferences and whatnot. It wasn't a bad job, but the problem is they gave me like a really old Mac PC, or not PC, but like a Mac tower, that was very outdated by that time in 2012, 2011, something like that. I'm showing my age here. I guess I do that a lot now, but I guess it's more relevant than ever. Hey, 10,000, we can grind our axe. Perfect. But it was so old that a minute-long animation in Blender took almost a week to do, and it was so demanding that I literally couldn't use the computer for anything else other than Reddit or like chatting with people, and even then it was slow. So I spent a lot of time just sitting there reading books, and I knew it was kind of like pissing them off a little bit because they were like, you know, what are you doing? I'm rendering the video you asked for. Can you do anything else? Not unless you give me another computer or tell me something to do that doesn't require a computer. You know, I can't render multiple videos simultaneously. And this thing has been running for the whole week, and you need it, you know, by the end of next week. Oh, this is much faster. And so, like, there was kind of that disconnect of technology and the need. And I was doing a fine job. It wasn't that bad. But it was definitely one of those where, like, they wanted me to do more stuff, and I just literally couldn't. I was begging for things to do. And eventually said, can I just bring in a book? And at least they let me do that, which was nice. But that was just so mind-numbing, and nothing I learned there, nothing I did there was at all useful. It was all just purely... Well, okay, no, that's not entirely true. I taught myself Blender to do those 3D models, and so, like, that actually was useful. But I wasn't doing anything past that, like, initial, like, understanding of how Blender worked. And so, like, it's transferable now just because I can use Blender for other things. But the rest of the work that I was doing there was not. It's not like I was getting better at rendering these brains, because now I was just stitching together a bunch of layers. And nothing more. Let's see. Yeah, we can get so much more done now that each of these only takes 2 swings. We might want to look into one of these other types of trees, because I'm sure it's going to give more money. But I think I might want to wait. The tricky part is we're stuck here for a moment. Because my throwing range is too short, so I have to kind of walk to and from, and that slows me down tremendously. So I could save up the nearly 20,000 to get the next throwing range upgrade, or I could go for one more power so I could chop these faster. I just don't know if it would matter, just because it takes pretty much the whole day to run out of stamina. Yeah, I think I might go for the throw range more than anything else. I guess I could go for carrying capacity, but I think that's just a band-aid. Yeah, the other job I had was fixing animations for Flash games, that specifically Flash was on its way out. And my job was to take animations that had originally been done in Flash and convert them to HTML5 using programs and, you know, my own animation skills. And that certainly was not a transferable skill because mostly, once again, I was just cleaning. And that was slightly agonizing. And so YouTube, for all of its like stresses and challenges and the fact that, yeah, I have to deal with these, deal with the algorithm, wouldn't trade it for anything because I'm at least doing a wide variety of things. Like if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be an indie game developer. And who knows, might still be. Okay, here's the bridge. It's get real dark. I need those 13 remaining mushrooms so I can actually get the lantern. Otherwise, this is maybe going to be a problem. I actually know what happens when you black out here. Unless I might make it. Nope, passed out. Wow, I should just pass out more often. There's literally no downside. That's funny. I'm so trained by Stardew Valley to like not want to black out that it's weird. When that isn't a problem, I suppose. Ooh. What are the other aspects of what I do? I mean, just to finish the process of YouTube video. So, need to know how to set up your recording setup. Need to know how to do good commentary, which is like one hell of a skill. Let's go the other direction, actually. There's a lot of trees kind of in this vicinity that I can chop for money. And still be within throwing range, kind of. Let's see. Recording setup, commentary, editing the video. And then even, like, getting a video up onto YouTube, obviously, like, just uploading it is easy. But actually, like, prepping it and doing good search engine optimization, which back in the day used to involve titles, tags, descriptions, and so on and so forth. Now it's purely just titles and thumbnails and nothing more. Like, YouTube's algorithm pretty much does everything for you, which is equal parts nice and awful, because it also means that, like, any video could just randomly be dead. Like, it's unlikely to happen, but there's a very real possibility my, like, third episode of Lumberjacked is going to have something even just mildly wrong with it, and YouTube's algorithm is going to be like, oh, no one wants this anymore, and then I'm just forgotten. I think I got a comment from somebody on a community post a couple days ago, where I was asking, like, hey, what would you want me to stream? And they're like, oh, I used to watch you play Scrap Mechanic, but then you disappeared, and it's like, what? I have not disappeared. I've been here this entire time. I've been here the whole time. Sorry. But so kind of within that, you know, I haven't gone anywhere. It's just that people used to rely on sub feeds to get their, you know, their latest videos and stuff. And now it's just the YouTube homepage, which, you know, I'm technically subbed to, oh, who's a good example? Well, I brought Northern Lion up earlier. I don't think I've seen him in my sub feed literally years. I know he's still there. I know he's still making videos. I just don't watch him anymore because, well, I don't watch anybody anymore. And, you know, did he quit? No, of course not. He's still going strong, but if I was a less critical YouTube consumer, I could very much believe that, oh, he disappeared for some indeterminate amount of time, rather than, you know, me just not directing the algorithm back to showing me his videos again. And that's kind of a weird, uncomfortable situation to be in, because it very much means that, like, there's this invisible hand every once in a while just throwing you a bone, or throwing you a lot of bones, and sometimes it just takes the bone away and will not give it back no matter how hard you know, try to cater to it or beg or anything like that. And so it almost kind of feels like dowsing, where you have to rely on like bizarre word of mouth, pseudoscience, rumors, and other things to like figure out what the current successful things to do on YouTube are. And if you can figure those things out, you know, you're kind of set for a while because, hey, you know, that can get you a couple thousand subscribers and a lot of views. And even if the algorithm changes again, there's a very real possibility that like a number of those people who found you during that period of time will stick around for at least a while yet, maybe. Or you get really unlucky and they're like, no, we want more Lumberjacked. You know, there's always the fear, especially with a game like this, you know, say this wildly overperforms, but there's nothing else quite like it. You know, it's going to be a couple months before I find another game that is Lumberjacked worthy. Maybe. I mean, with the success of a game about digging a hole, there's a very real possibility that, like, there actually will be more games like this in reasonably short order, which is kind of nice. Because I like these games. They're very zen and easy for me to manage. Let's see. But, you know, there's always going to be people who like find my channel for this, watch every single episode, and then never come back. And that's fine. You know, it's not like I can force people to watch me. But these are kind of things you have to balance when you are a YouTuber and thinking about like content strategies and coverage and what games you focus on, what games you leave as like one-offs and stuff. It's weird. I don't know why I'm so introspective on this one. I think it's because it's such a process-centric thing. And this stuff's been on my mind a lot lately because I'm just thinking about like, I don't know how much the game keeps changing one way or another. Come on. So, there we go. We really need that throw distance. At least this stuff is worth a boatload. Yeah, we're already up to 10k. So hopefully getting up to that 17,000 is going to be easy. Because, boy, we're already at 125 meters, and that's going to take some doing. I don't know what the maximum range is, but I think getting up to that point is probably going to be more important than almost anything else. I'm just going to use up all my stamina right now. Okay, there we go. Let's just ferry the last couple. And, like, nice part is I could just pass out right here. But that would be maybe bad. There we go. So how much is that worth? That was 70 logs. We were at 11,000. So it was... No, it's still going. I don't know why it's still taking so long. Okay, so we got, what, roughly 1735 off of 70 of those. Is that what? 15? No, 25 a pop? Something like that. I don't know. I don't want to do the math right now. That's a pretty good conversion ratio. Yeah, we'll get up to that 17,000 real quick. And that'll speed us up because then we can go back to any tree, like any of these groves, and just turbo eat it. Even if it doesn't make us that much money, at least we can be constantly active, constantly engaged chopping. The big problem is the travel times back and forth. Like that's where we lose the most amount of energy, time, efficiency. Yeah, so which is it? I think I'm in this bottom section here actually. Which means if I keep chopping this direction, we're going to get to whatever that orange location is. And I mean, the money's good, so sure, why not? Are there better ways to potentially speedrun this game to the point where I'm, you know, making that much more money faster? Sure, probably. But I would need foreknowledge to actually get that done. Let's go. I'm curious to see how this game performs. This is like a completely separate thing that always also kind of sticks in my head of... I don't know how many of you played Nodebuster, but as part of that, I had put out like a request of, hey, you know, if you pick this game up because of me, leave a review. And this goes for like every game, technically. If you pick up a game because of me, one of my videos, or another creator, it's not a bad idea to go to Steam and leave a review. Positive or negative, it doesn't matter. I mean, ideally positive. Hopefully the games that I'm showcasing and people like me are showcasing, you know, are good enough to deserve a positive review, but, you know, I can't control you. Just don't leave one of those, like, weird, jokish, negative reviews saying, like, oh, everybody loves this game, so I'm going to leave a negative review just to counterbalance things. It's like, that's dumb. Don't do that. But, let's see. But, like, it legitimately does help developers when these games get reviews because it makes the games rank higher and convinces Steam to, like, promote it more, you know, putting it on lists or even their, like, front page sometimes. And so for a game called Nodebuster that I covered, I think it was last year, I'd picked it up when it had, like, 20 reviews, and I was like, hey, go leave it a review and, like, see if you can signal boost this game. And by the end of... before anybody picked it up, and by the end of the, like, week that I had put my video out, I think it got, like, an extra 200, 300, maybe even 400 reviews. I'd have to, like, really go back and check the speed in which it did get attention and reviews and whatnot. And then a bunch of other people covered it, and, you know, I can't claim all of the success anymore. But there was a lengthy period of time where it was just me. And yeah, seeing those reviews roll in was actually very gratifying of like, hey, I left a very positive effect on this game. And I very much can see Lumberjacked being kind of like that. I don't know if it quite has the same, like, depth of appeal as Nodebuster. Nodebuster had some really interesting build width, whereas this one is mostly just zen and also compelling, just because incremental grinds just feel good. Okay, let's just burn the rest of my stamina. Because I do not want to pass out here. With a full... Okay, there we go. Good to go. Looks like that's all the logs. I'm going to pass out before nighttime, but at least we'll have enough... Oh, I wonder if passing out makes me lose some time in the morning. Maybe. But I just didn't want to pass out with an armful of logs or any stamina remaining. That's why I haven't invested into stamina at all, because it's not worth it. Because if I spend the whole day and I still have the stamina meter, and we're going to pass out again, it's fine. It's fine. Who cares? Yep, there we go. No, it doesn't look like we lost any time. Oh, and we maxed. 150 is the top. Let's go for some walk speed then. Just so I'm not as agonizingly slow as I was. We also only need 3 more mushrooms before I can get the lantern. This means there might be some sections of the map that I still have to walk back, but at least it won't be too many. What was it talking about? Reviews and some other things. I don't know. I'll have to give this one a quick ogle. I guess I might as well check it now, because yeah, I think I put out my first video when it had, like, currently it has 17, so I think I put my first video out when it had, like, 9-ish. And so it's up to 17, which feels good. Hopefully gets more than that, because I don't know. It seems like the kind of game that anybody who loved a game about digging a hole would probably enjoy this game for much the same reason. I think the only difference is that I'm going to bring up player expression. This is always going to be kind of one of those, like, I don't want to say bugbear topics exactly, because it's not exactly, it is a bugbear topic. I should check if I can actually chop these banded trees. I can. Takes some effort, though. I think I might wait, though. Reason being, it takes a little bit longer. We need just one more one more mushroom. There we go. Reason being is mostly I want to be able to see how much an armload of the banded trees are worth. Does that make any sense, though? I don't know. And I'm not really sure if it's actually that much more efficient. I think what I want to do is get some chopping, a little bit more chopping power before I do. Let's see. Because yeah, it still takes me 3 chops to get to the center of these trees. I was expecting to be stopped more by sharpness, but I guess that's not as much of a concern here. Okay, that's pretty good. Snag everything. Yeah, I think I'll go for the banded trees next. I was actually kind of hoping I could get past that one. Let's see. Are there logs here? Doesn't look like too much. The problem is the bushes are pretty freaking far away. It's not really worth going for unless I have that lantern. And even then, I don't know. Better to just go back. The bushes are only worth so much here. I think part of the problem with me being scatterbrained, I mean, long day. Kind of long day? It's just been a sleepy day. Woke up to a thunderstorm. It was nice and thunderstormy for pretty much the entire day. And then eventually, you know, that let up, but then it was rainy, so I've just been kind of zonked. Okay. Let's see. Stay lit, stay safe. We now have a lantern. Okay. It's not too distracting. It's there if I look down, which is maybe not dubious, but still. Gonna give myself some stamina? Yeah, let's do some stamina. I probably should have just gone for power, but stamina means I can chop more tree. Power means I can chop more tree. Oh, right, before we go anywhere, what is 25,000? Oof. Alright. Oh. I'm gonna keep pushing this direction. For 2 reasons. 1, sunk cost fallacy. 2, I want to see what's at the end of it. And, I mean, 3, it's actually good money out here. It's not like I'm chopping basic trees for a pittance of cash. It's actually pretty good. So let's ignore every tree for a moment. Let's go take a look at those banded trees and fire an armload off. I actually kind of wish once you chop a tree, you can look at it and see how much it's worth. But it's fine. Okay. Big old set of mushrooms there, too. Unfortunately, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's four chops as opposed to 3 to get to the center of one of these. Still probably more efficient for, like, monetarily for me to be chopping these compared to the other trees, because I think these are just 7 a pop. I guess I could have tried to pick up 1 log and tossed it, but that would have been hard to pull off. Better to just do the math. Oh, there we go. Okay, so 1269. Okay. It's still going. I'm actually kind of impressed. Okay. So we gained 3,500 from that one. So these trees are worth twice as much as the red trees over here. So yeah, it's a little slower. It's so worth it. Yeah, chop the absolute best tree you can, because they don't scale exponentially health-wise. Oh, these are the elder trees. That's why they're so expensive. There's probably a very limited amount in this area. Nice to know that I can chop the elder trees, though. Okay. Yeah, let's grab everything that we've chopped. Almost everything that we've chopped. Pretty successful day, all things considered, if I made 10k in one go. I think I'm gonna go for chop power more than anything else. Yeah, do I want to go for the bushes? Like I could. The main problem is mostly just this gives me such a small amount of stamina. Oh, time to see if the lantern works. And these still take 2 chops. Okay. This is gonna sound kind of silly. I don't think I want to be out chopping wood at night. It'll keep me safe for sure, but I was hoping it was going to be more flashlight hooded lantern than anything else. Okay. So 12,929. Let's see how much this boosts up by. That's bleak. That went up by, what, 450? For 55 logs. Yaw. Those elder trees are worth it. Let's go for swing power. We don't need carrying capacity. I think I saved my dosh. We just want to chop till we drop hard as we can. Because if I can do everything in one hit, that solves a lot of problems. Yes, let's finish emptying out this branch. Really, as soon as I can get up to, well, I mean 25,000. I'm gonna say 42,000, 42,550, give or take. Let's just bump it up to like 45,000. Getting up to there gets me access to the whole map. Nothing can stop me at that point. I will chop pretty much every tree in one hit. Maybe 2 for the elder logs. And then wow, even with the upgrade. Yeah, it's still 4 swings on this one. Yeah, so these, I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I'm chopping them in one go. And that's okay. I'm actually surprised at how many of them there are here. I was expecting this to only have like a couple hundred, but hey. Okay. Kind of wish I had an active map that I could pull up at any point. That would have been something that would have been nice to buy. I think that's it with it. I wish this game had tons of things to purchase so that I was constantly kind of guessing like, okay, do I want to spend 1,000 for a map? Do I want to spend 1,000 for an extra compass? Is this really worth it? Or can I rely on my natural sense of direction instead? Similarly, it would have been kind of nice if you could, like, where the heck are the drone parts? The gnome was like, yes, you'll find them out in the woods somewhere, and I have not seen hide nor hair of a single drone. But that's okay. But yeah, being able to just buy a couple of things, I'm gonna say like a skateboard bicycle, but it's kind of expensive, but it increases your base move speed by higher, or even gives it a multiplier or something. There we go. Just like a small handful of elder trees left. I'll admit, it's starting to actually get to the point where I can get kind of lost here. Okay. Just because the fog makes it a little difficult to figure out where I'm going. Oh, at least the compass shows me kind of where home is. But yeah, that was half of the elder trees. I was not expecting it to be that generous with them. Well, hey, it works. Gets me a lot of good stuff. Let's see. What was the first part of this video? I just want to double check. Yeah, alright. I cut the video for a moment and lost track of time. My main problem is it's about dinner time, and, well, no, it's way past dinner time. And so I am starting to get real hangy. But a good day. It was nice. Let's see. Anything else? Nah. We sleep. Almost could have bought the extra chopping power, but I think I want the better axe first. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna probably do another video on this. I might even go until we're done, just because this is only gonna get easier and faster as we go along. And that'll be fun. Yeah, I bet we're down this branch here. The reason why we haven't found drone parts is because they're here, here, and here. Oops. Anywho, guess with all this said, like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.